acknowledges that election agents are running.
In Nairobi's Kibera informal settlements, residents crowd around phones, waiting on the news of the final results following general election on Tuesday this week.
When the result is taking too long, the people are not going to job, people are idle, business is not moving, everything is standstill. Yeah, which is making Kenyans to be knowing what they are likely to do. Children are not going to school. We were told school they are likely to be open on Tuesday. Now, concerning the way it are just going, the schools are not going to be opened.
We want to go back to work. We want to go back to our normal duties. This thing is giving us some lot of anxiousness. We can't go back to work. We're just waiting for him. I mean, he should just fasten up things.
They switch between websites, hoping to get the latest news, even more frustrating as local media houses have conflicting tallies which reflect a tight race between Deputy President William Ruto and veteran politician Raila Odinga. The Independent Elections and Boundaries Commission has allowed access to a public portal with results from the 46,229 polling stations. But it is a huge task for anyone to comb through all that raw data and come up with a winner. Here in Kibera, people have kept vigil since the eve of the elections day. Now they wait in small groups, analyzing what would come out of this race. Not lost on them is the final word lies with the IEBC and Chief Returning Officer, Chairperson Wafula Chebukati.
Let Chebukati tell us the fact. We are tired of waiting. Why are we waiting for the 7th day? What for? Today is Friday and we know who is the president. We don't know why Chebukati is wasting the time.
Chebukati and his team are this time being more cautious because in 2017, the Supreme Court nullified the outcome of the polls and ordered a repeat following what it said were illegalities and irregularities in the process. Meanwhile, work has begun to hand over power to the country's 5th president as Kenyatta prepares to retire.
The committee's core mandate is to facilitate a smooth transition from the current administration to the incoming administration. Substantively, the mandate of the committee will be triggered once the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission formally announces the results of the 9th August 2022 presidential election and declares a president-elect.
In full realization of the high calling,
I assume as President of the Republic of Kenya.
Kenyatta, who came to power in 2013, has served 2 terms in office. It is 4 days since Kenyans went to the polls, and although the Electoral Commission has up to 7 days within which it can announce election results, the slow process within which results are being transmitted from the National Tally Center to the public is causing anxiety. Most of the people we spoke to here say the wait is taking too long. Kimani, SABC News in Nairobi, Kenya.
And we return to SABC News correspondent Sarah Kimani, who is live at the National Tally Center in the aftermath of elections. I understand there are some developments on the ground where you are, Sarah. Tell us what you are seeing and hearing.
Well, indeed, I'm at the National Tally Center. This is the heart of the election results. So this is where we expect that when finally all the results are tallied, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Wafula Chebukati, will announce the winner from here. What is happening now, right behind me, is the verification process. All the returning officers are bringing the forms here. Although those forms are already in the electronic portal of the IEBC, they must be brought here and they're being physically verified so that to see that whatever is in the electronic system is what is in the physical paper. Once that is complete, then the Electoral Commission announces constituency by constituency. So it is going to be a long process. We expect that this will continue throughout the night and probably throughout the better part of tomorrow.
We were keeping an eye on your live picture there, Sarah. We saw what seemed to be a scuffle. What was that about?
Yes, indeed, and there are several of those. Every time results come in and one side of the coalition sees as if there is tampering with the results forms, then you see that altercation. The side that you saw really shouting, that was Azimio la Umoja, that is former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's side of the coalition, and it was shouting at the other side of the coalition, the Kenya Kwanza coalition, their opponents are saying that they are bringing in forms underhand. And you know, the problem with that is that every time such that happens and it is on live television, it is heightening tensions because this is right inside the National Tally Center, and that's why you saw security moving in to calm tensions. It has been happening several times, people being removed from the National Tally Center, tempers flaring, as expected in a very competitive race like the one we have had here in Kenya.
We watched your package with some of the residents of Kibera, just highlighting their anxieties around the results delays. We heard in your package as well, the IEBC saying that given the terrible violence in previous polls, the specificity and the scientific nature of delivering these results is now sacrosanct. But Kenyans are growing impatient and they're anxious. Do you think this delay has the potential to undermine the acceptance of the final results?
290 constituencies, and in addition we have...
Yes, indeed, but Kenyans are probably just anxious unjustifiably. We were looking at 2013 results. The final results came 6 days after the country had gone to the polls. In 2017, it was 4 days after Kenyans had gone to the polls, so that would be tomorrow. So maybe the tension is because the race is so close, and also the fact that we are ushering in a transition. President Kenyatta is due to retire, and we're expecting a new leader. So that anxiety of who is going to replace President Kenyatta, and in a race that from the beginning has been neck to neck, whether it is in opinion polls, whether it is in the way the members of parliament are winning, it is clear that it is a very tight race, and that makes people very tense. But also because most of those people you saw in Kibra are casual laborers, so they have to go to work every day and earn a living every day. The longer this takes means they are not earning any money. They have been sitting there waiting for the results, because once the results are announced, then it will be clear whether the country will remain holding together, or tensions will rise, or there will be violence if one side of the coalition decides to dispute the results. So quite a tense moment in the country, but the country is still holding. The security officers, the head of the police service, gave a statement earlier today saying so far so good.
Certainly hope, that peace and acceptance are the overriding themes that prevail in the hours perhaps leading up to the announcement of a final result. But just share a little more detail, Sarah, on the Commission for Assumption of Office. They've begun work, and what does that involve?
Well, it involves now preparing things like the grounds where the handover will happen, increasing security for the person who will be eventually announced the winner, both at home, their offices, but also ensuring that there is a smooth transition from the current leader to the next one. That would involve even changing the flag of the president. The current president's flag is blue, so now choosing a color of the next president's flag, ensuring that their residents are prepared, that President Kenyatta moves out of State House on time and the next one moves in, ensuring that the official residences have been vacated by the current leaders and the new leaders are able to move in. So all that, but also ensuring that the country continues to move. Schools are supposed to reopen on Monday, so ensuring that that also happens and that kids go back to school, and also preparing the day of inauguration, starting to invite leaders from across the world who will attend that ceremony. So quite a huge task, considering the swearing-in ceremony should take place at least 2 weeks if there are no disputes.
Well, Sarah, it's been, quite a few months of preparation for these elections with you and our SABC News team on the ground. So safety and strength for you as the night stretches on as we await those final results. Sarah Kimani there, our SABC News correspondent, live from the National Tally Center in Nairobi.